Tomorrow is bin day for the people of Clacton as voters head to the polls for the by-election. Last month, Nigel Farage resigned his seat as an MP to reaffirm his mandate after a series of scandals, one of which was the £5 million donation he received just before becoming an MP from a Thai-based crypto billionaire. Farage claimed the money was for security, but also that he hadn't spent any of it on security.
You've said that £5 million was for lifelong security for you. You've also said it was a gift. Can you just clarify?
No. Let's be clear.
For?
Let's be clear. It's an unconditional gift. I can spend it on cars if I want to. It's entirely up to me, right? But there is a specific reason for this. I have been physically the most attacked and endangered politician in Britain for now well over a decade. At every stage during that time, when I've asked the state to help and support, most times they point blank refused. I know, because of the division in politics, that I will need protection until the day that I die. And that is my intention, that is what it's for, and it means, frankly, I can get on with my job and not worry about the long term.
So, Mr Farage, how much of that money have you spent?
Look, it's literally none of your business. If I've given it to charity, but the truth is, I haven't. I know what it's there for.
You haven't spent any of it?
It's none of your business. It's literally none of your... How much of your salary do you spend on beer, on petrol? It's none of your business.
I think it is the public's business to know...
No, it's not the public's business.
Well, it's being investigated by the Parliamentary Standards Committee, so it's somebody's business.
You're
saying you need security, a legitimate point. Yep. How much of that money have you spent on security so far?
I'm sorry. I know I'm not going to answer that deliberately, willfully.
Do you wish that you had declared this money at the time?
It is not your business at the BBC to put me in danger, therefore I will not answer that.
I would just like to clarify, do not make any mistake, we are not putting you in any danger at all.
If I answer that question you asked, so I won't.
So, but you have already said that you haven't spent it.
Fine. Leave it at that then.
Do you wish you declared it at the time?
It's none of your business. Oh. It's none of your business. None of your business what public servants do with the money that they're given. By the way, it's worth mentioning that Farage also supports deregulation of cryptocurrency and has said that HMRC should start integrating cryptocurrency basically into the tax system. But I'm sure that's completely unrelated to him being given £5 million by a Thai-based crypto billionaire. I believe Harborn is Thai-British. I think he's got citizenship from both countries. The whole "it's for my personal security" line obviously wasn't working very well, so Farage called this by-election as a distraction. Unfortunately for him, none of the other parties were willing to play ball. The Greens, the Lib Dems, Labour, the Tories, even Restore Britain withdrew from the contest to starve him of the publicity. This left his only opponent as Count Binface.
OK, and Count Binface, are you going to Clacton? It might be a good place to start.
It might be. That's a little bit of patronising, but I'll take it in the spirit it's intended. Yeah, I might go, but, you know, apparently the current incumbent seems to spend more time in Washington, D.C., so maybe I should go there first. We'll see.
Will it be a good, clean fight?
I hope so. I'm not into ad hominem attacks. I have as Gillian was mentioning, I have a forward-thinking, fully costed manifesto. And what's more, as Nick has been alluding to, and Tilly's, as I'm sure you're all aware, it costs roughly £348,000 pounds to run a by-election, and there's a quite strong possibility there would be a second by-election if Farage were to win. So I can say here now, on live BBC television, by voting Binface, you are saving the British taxpayer 350 grand. You can put on the side of a bus, and I haven't done anything. It's a win-win.
It's actually a really good argument for voting for Count Binface. Like, it's like a genuinely good argument that it saves the taxpayer £350,000. I almost said 350 million. I went back to 2016 for a second then. Now, many Clacton voters feel that they aren't being taken seriously, and I do understand that, but I think this is a misreading of the situation. The main parties aren't abandoning the people of Clacton here, but they are refusing to take part in Farage's publicity stunt. Reform went into panic mode and recalled all of their activists from other by-elections like Makerfield to help Farage in Clacton, and they had to decry Count Binface as the establishment, which is a very funny thing to say about somebody whose policy agenda includes like capping the price of flake 99s at 99p and nationalising Adele. His best policy, though, in my opinion, is moving the hand dryer in the Crown and Treaty pub. It's just in a ridiculous place. If you're listening on the podcast, the hand dryer is jammed between a sink and a urinal, so you have to squeeze in between whoever is going to be like going to the loo and whoever's washing their hands. I think it's just a policy that everyone can get behind. Unfortunately, too many people in Clacton do love Nigel Farage, so that hand dryer is probably staying where it is, and the odds of Binface beating him are slim to none. Recent polling by Survation shows that 73% of Clacton voters would choose Farage over Binface, but Binface would get the vote of almost 1 in 5 people in Clacton. Now, Maya, Farage is probably going to win this, but that's not really the point, right? It's a very high-risk game for him with not much reward. Like, if he wins, he's just beaten a bin. What do you make of the likely impact on Farage's career?
I think it will make little to no impact on his career. I think that he is still very much in control of his public narrative, and at this point, like, his publicity has got his like kind of public persona has got him where he wants to be. He is in the pockets of billionaires. He is in the pockets of, you know, all the people that are ruining this country, and all the people that are you know, he's in the pockets of like big oil companies and massive polluters. He is where he wants to be. I don't think that he's all that concerned about this by-election because Clacton is through and through Farage territory. They will probably vote him in again, whether or not the establishment stood, whether or not like Labour and the Conservatives, Lib Dems stood. Farage would still probably win. I don't know the impact of. I wouldn't argue either way whether it was a net gain or loss for, you know, the establishment, the traditional parties not to run, because, you know, a lot of people who vote for like for reform and kind of back Nigel Farage is because they feel left behind. And what is this except leaving people behind? But also, he was going to win anyway. Why would the parties waste the money? Kind of a negligible amount of money for them. But, I mean, Farage is sorted. He's got his retirement 40 times over. He's got friends in high places. He's got all the money to back the extravagant lifestyle he lives. I think he is just, you know, helping crypto billionaires up the ladder while he still can. And then he's just going to fuck off to some tax dodging island.
Yeah, I could see him resettling in Gibraltar or something like that at some point. But I don't know. I kind of think it is, at the very least, it's funny, even if it's not impactful, that Reform are going to spend all this money on a by-election that they're probably going to have to rerun in a few months' time. And I do think there is some importance to like draining Reform's resources, even if Christopher Harborne or a similar, like, you know, one of the Koch brothers or something, or the one that's still alive, comes along and just refills that money instantly. I still think using up those resources or getting them to use up those resources is quite important. And I was also going to bring up the importance of ridiculing fascists, because of course you and I both know fascists thrive on their image, right? They thrive on their self-perception as dangerous and edgy and out there, and so much of this just sort of takes that image away because he's actually the least jokey candidate running, which is an unusual situation for him.
He's arguing with a bin at this point. Like, that's as low as you can go. I'd reevaluate my career.
Yes, yeah, and there's the two foxes there as well. There's the guy who's dressed as a fox, and there's also Lawrence Fox is also running because he was the only one who didn't get the joke, and he's still the most serially divorced man in Britain, besides maybe Graham Linehan, since he broke up with Billie Eilish, and he's never really Billie Piper, and he's never really recovered.
I was thinking, I've missed out here.
Yeah, no, sorry. Billie Eilish would never fall that low. That sounds bad. I'm not saying that Billie Piper fell
But Billie
low.
Piper would.
Well,
Pop
she
star
did,
queen.
Fortunately, yeah, I know. We've all made mistakes, Billy. We've all made mistakes.
We've all dated Lynham. Hands up.
Oh my god. But of course, Lawrence Fox is of course just another candidate running in this by-election. I do think the impact of this might be, as you say, sort of negligible on Nigel Farage's career as a whole. But hopefully, it will A, make them more cautious. B, I'm guessing it's already helped, for example, the Burnham margin in Makerfield, and I think C, it also helps that to have them having to drain their resources, because I think one of the worst things is when fascists feel that there's no fight in anybody, and that there's nothing that they can fight against, and it's just going to be an easy win. You don't want them to get the impression that people are just going to roll over and just show their belly, right?
Yeah, exactly. They need a real fighting opponent because they thrive off looking powerful and seeming all-knowing and seeming, above everyone else, when realistically, Nigel Farage is just some guy with a phenomenal career and phenomenal, so much wealth behind him and so much economic support behind him. But he's just one man.
Yeah. I don't know exactly how it's going to play out. I don't actually, by the way, think that Farage is likely to get the sort of 70% of the vote that a lot of polling is coming out with. I imagine that's going to fall to sort of like 60 or 50 on the actual day. And I imagine that Binface will see like a similar fall. It's not going to be 30% of the vote or whatever it is. It's going to be like 20% or lower, 20%, 15%. Unfortunately, I would love it to be the case that the Binface would beat Nigel Farage, because I'm not going to lie, if he did, Nigel Farage's career is over at that point.
But that will make no difference to him because, he is the harm that he does to our society doesn't come specifically from him. He is just the kind of figurehead. They would find someone else to replace him. He has already got his, got his people in power. He's already got his big, dirty companies in power. The damage is done. Yeah. He has put in an undoable rot into our political system.
Yeah, I mean, they would find somebody else to replace him. It would be harder because I don't know of many people who have that sort of public persona and charisma that Nigel Farage does. He is a very good public speaker. He's very experienced in the media now, and he's sort of well positioned, got good relationships with people like Donald Trump, which should be a hindrance in British politics, but of course it gives him that connection as well. I'm interested to see how it plays out. But we'll see tomorrow, I guess, when it comes to Bin Day. I'm more interested to see what Count Binface actually does on the day. I think there's real potential for some, for some big political moments, at the poll count, which I hope Binface is going to go to. He usually does.
There's no way he wouldn't. The pictures always do the rounds. He will be there.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that. I actually preferred the Lord Buckethead suit personally, but that's just a personal preference thing.
That left with the times, though. It had its place. We needed a new man.
I don't think, personal opinion, I don't think that Binface is different enough from Lord Buckethead. I felt there was a sort of a need for a redesign of the whole concept. But that's just my view.
You're a hater.
I know. It's what Nigel Farage has made me.